Maybe it's watching football with your father.
So Craig just told a joke right when I started the recording. So hello, this is Crypto CJ. It's the trade of the day, Friday afternoon / evening Zoom edition, and it's been a very exciting week in crypto. We've hit an all-time high. We hit 69.3 on Tuesday, I believe, and then cratered down to 59. I had lost $10,000 in an hour. So that was a wild ride. And then today we had a smaller version of that. We broke 70,000 on Binance for about 10 seconds. Then came down to 67, and now it's hanging around 68. On MEXC, though, we broke 70,000 all the way to 70,300. And I have a screenshot to prove it. I didn't want to go to that page live because I usually use a VPN and that can slow down this broadcast if I use a VPN. So you guys seeing my MEXC screenshot?
Yes.
All right. So as you can see, 70,329.9. One thing I like about MEXC is it'll show you the high and the low in whatever time frame you're viewing. So 70,000 here, then it broke down to 66.1, and then we're in the 68s now. So yeah, that was pretty cool, but it didn't stay long. There was obviously a lot of sell orders at that range. It could be an attempt of the market makers to flush out leverage like we had on Tuesday. I'm not sure exactly. You know, if you're in the Altcoin Alert Slack group, Alan was in there poo-pooing anybody who was talking conspiracies and manipulation and things like that. It's a normal selling action to sell at an all-time high, and I think he's mostly right. But I do think the market makers take advantage when they can. So if you're trading leverage, be aware of that. They can see support and resistance as well. And you know, if you use some money management concepts like ladder buying and or reducing leverage, then you can usually save your trades in those situations. But I digress. Let's look at Bitcoin, the regular chart. Okay. Let's look at Bitcoin. Should be seeing my day chart.
Yes.
Yeah, let's make this a little more normal. So I've adjusted my ranges slightly. We've got the bottom down here in the 50K range, and on top we're still pushing for that all-time high. It's unlikely we're going to close above 70K today, but you know, if we close around 69 or something like that, that would be Bitcoin's probably highest day close, at least on a Binance chart. So, you know, regarding the news, there's still a lot of information going on Twitter and some of the other sites about ETF volume is still pushing up. In my home state of Arizona, they announced that I think it's state government employees are going to have the option of investing their retirement fund, a portion of it into a Bitcoin ETF. So, you know, I was pleased to see my state being forward thinking in that regard. And then, you know, just your basic halving and things like that. People talking about a lot of talking heads out there throwing out 6-figure estimates. We could be in for a consolidation phase, you know, between, you know, what we are now and 60K. Wouldn't surprise me if we broke down into the 50s again. So, you know, be ready for that. Regardless, it's a lot of fun trading in these situations, and buying and holding can be profitable. Swing trading is I'm doing more swing trading than I've ever done in my trading career. So, you know, that's been enjoyable, but it's a little harder to keep track of things. But still like to day trade, so we'll talk about both. Let's see. Let's go over to Ethereum.
Hey, CJ.
Yeah.
What you mentioned the day trading. What do you use to keep track of those? You're moving kind of fast, and I'm not quite sure how to manage that. I mean, I'd like
Well,
to see order by order, and then
You're breaking up, Kim. I'd like to see, and then I lost you.
I'd like to see a total buy and sell on a particular given trade, and then I'd like to see like a running total for the day or the month or whatever at the end of it. And it's just it's kind of unwieldy to get that like in a Excel or something like that. So could you share what you use?
Yeah, I'm trading. I'm a trainer in a beta testing third-party software called Carbon. It has some similarities to something called 3 Commas, which was and probably still is one of the more popular softwares to use. And that keeps most of those things organized, like you just said. So I'm sort of cheating. I'm doing something that I can't really give you guys yet. But before that, I would use a spreadsheet, and I had my own. I still use a spreadsheet for my swing trades that don't involve Carbon, and I can show you a little bit of that. And so here we go. That's my spreadsheet. Starting in January, I log these trades and, my source, what the strategy is, my leverage, and what exchange I'm using. I'm using BingX, Coinbase, and Bybit, and then MEXC as well. So it's getting a little frazzled, but the spreadsheet helps me remember where everything is and what my goal is. And I've shared something like this before with people, so it's pretty simple.
I saw you pull that up in was it MEXC or whatever where was it MEXC? Do you have faith in that exchange is being able to pay you back?
I have so much faith in it. I've got about $300 in it. That's the extent of my faith. So
okay, I didn't see it here on your list. Is the reason I was asking. So
yeah, actually, I just started it. There's my first trade, and my first trade was a liquidation, but that was my fault. I didn't manage it correctly. So anyway, but other trades have gone well. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, you stay organized the best way you can. There's probably software out there for that kind of thing, but I don't have anything in particular I use other than what I described already.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, any general questions about the markets before we didn't really talk about Ethereum much? Pushing 4,000, hit 39.90 and then dipped down to 38.90 now. So my next zone is up here around 4,300. We'll see if we can get that maybe next week or the week after, but Ethereum's looking pretty good as well. In the chat. Okay, Andrew is joining us and he's suggesting a program called Edge Sheet. I'm not familiar with that one, but it's working for him. So any other questions about the markets overall before we look for some trades?
Yeah, CJ, why would Bitcoin have a drop, but Ethereum doesn't? It just stays very stable.
It's a good question. Well, we weren't hitting an all-time high in Bitcoin or in Ethereum. Ethereum's got a ways to go. So if we look at the week chart, yeah, we still have to get up to about 4,800 on Ethereum. So there probably weren't a lot of sell orders to the extent that there were on Bitcoin. However, $4,000 is, a psychological resistance. So there were some there, and that pushed the price down once it got close to it. People probably had sell orders on Ethereum between 39.50 and 4,000, and some of those got triggered. But again, not as violently as Bitcoin, like you shared. So that's my theory, but there could be other explanations as well.
That sort of fits because it's an all-time high. Lots of people, and I know you've talked about it before, were planning on selling at that point, and that could trigger a profit-taking drop.
Yeah, and I will contribute to that this weekend. I'm gonna move a portion of my hodls over to Coinbase and probably sell maybe a quarter of, 25% of them, and cash out in case the market takes a giant horrific dump like it did in in 2021, where I did the same thing. I sold a quarter of my stuff and then thinking I was going to sell the rest as it went up, and then it never went up again. So I think we'll break through that that resistance at 70,000 and for Bitcoin and 4,000 for Ethereum. So all right, good stuff, guys. Anything else before we make some trades?
Has anybody else been having trouble with the Coinbase? I mean, they
Yeah.
were like a week ago, but then like this entire week, I've just been they shoved me out.
That's what they do. Coinbase can only handle so much. With the market as crazy as it was a couple times this week, when Coinbase falls apart like that and the market's pumping, that's bullish. So hang in there. Keep trying if you need to do something. I put my take profit on Coinbase stuff as soon as I buy it, because that's, plan your trade your plan. So I was able to get out of a trade. I had probably my best trade of the year on Near. I made 70% on about a 5-week swing trade. I'm not bragging. It's just, it's hard for me to stay in something that long being a day trader. I'm kind of learning with you guys on the swing trading stuff. But anyway, that was on Coinbase and did pretty well. But I had my take profit in already there as a limit order. So all right, yeah. Andrew says he loves Near. It's an AI coin. That's what brought it to my attention, and I think the CryptNation guys were talking about it, and that was helpful, for me to find that and to trade it. Okay, we just had an alert go off. This is for my morning alerts on SNX synthetics. And as you can see, if you've been with me before, you know that I like to trade my day trades on the 15-minute chart. And I'm using the RTI, the relative trend index. We have a dip below the 20 and a break above. It's not a real aggressive break. It's kind of a once just kind of flopped over. Like in football, you just fall in the end zone, kind of like that. I'd rather see it spike up hard, but if you want to take this trade, not financial advice, but you might want to check it out. We do have a break above the 20 on the synthetics. The 15-minute, yeah, it's kind of doesn't look that good on the 5-minute, so it's not a dip trade, but do with that what you want. Okay, I'm gonna head over to Altcoin Alert, and we'll do an AA score sort. You can see I'm on the altcoin radar setting. Gives me all the information, all the columns. I'm gonna reload and sort by AA score. I'm looking for values 80 and higher. And I was looking at this one earlier, RLC. I haven't traded that one in a while. And I was also looking at Ring, and I had never traded this one before. But I looked it up. It is on MEXC. Sounds like I'm promoting that. It has a lot of coins, which is kind of cool, but I don't know how reliable it is. So I've made about 3 or 4 trades on it. Anyway, I thought we'd check it out, as this is my swing trade setup. I'm on the 30-minute chart, and we're kind of halfway between the zones. This is a really exaggerated resistance area because of these giant wicks, and you see these in coins that don't have a lot of volume. That would probably describe this one. But if you got in now, and if it turned around, still on a buy on the super trend, it's about 8% to the bottom of the red zone, 20% to the middle. And if you're a real cowboy, you can ride this all the way up to this figure here at 32%. So yeah, I don't like that it's trending down after the buy signal. So I'm not sure if this was something I'd really want to trade. I might be more inclined to maybe wait for the next buy signal. You can use the super trend, right click, add an alert. and just wait for the next buy signal. That was an AA score. And set up your notifications as you see fit. I like to notify in the app on my phone, pop up on my computer, and the sound of my computer. But I'm reluctant to take longs on Friday afternoons. I don't trade a whole lot on the weekend, sometimes on Sunday night, because that's Monday morning in Asia and they're trading then. Okay, got a chat. Yeah, Andrew's comparing this to a chart he looked at on BSV. That's Bitcoin Vault or something like that. I can't remember which one that one is. So you'll see setups like this sometimes on coins with not a lot of volume. Okay, any questions on Ring as a swing trade? All right, let's look at Altcoin Alert again. And I was also looking at RLC. It has an 81 score. I was looking at this one as a day trade. And it's on Coinbase. Look at that chart. Mostly consolidating the last couple days. Little dip here this morning during the Bitcoin pump and dump. Take a quick look at the 5, see if we're in a dip sequence. Maybe one starting. We got a squeeze and a bubble starting to form. If you don't want to deal with indicators, I'm seeing support on the 5-minute chart down here around 364. Do an alert like this, right click. And AA score, and that's your price alert for RLC. When it hits that, then you can reevaluate, see if you still want to do the trade. For our indicators on the 15-minute chart, at the moment, it looks like we've just dipped below the 20. And so I'd be looking for a break above the 20 to get in on a dip and a retrace. That happened right about here, but it didn't do that well. It went up about a 1.5% before dropping again a little bit, kind of going sideways. Sometimes if I do trades on the weekends, I like to put in low buy orders and have those hit. The volume does drop and the price drops. That can be a little risky in case there's a total dump. That's not real common. So if you want to set an alert on the RTI for the scenario I just described, you can right click, crossing up on the 20. If you want to just do it once, leave this as is. If you want this on all day, so every time it dips and breaks above the 20, that alert goes off. You can select once per bar close or once per bar and call the alert. I usually use the information source and set up the notifications as you see fit. Now, if we want to do more of a trend trade, I'm using this 50 value. When it breaks above the 50, then I get in. Breaks below the 50, then I short it. So we have a break below the 50 here. Use my vertical line to point this out a little bit better. So if you're trading on leverage, you get that break below. Actually, it happens the first time here. So you take that trade, goes against you a little bit, and then makes a nice move down, for almost 5% down. If you stay in it longer, if you catch this from the next day, then 8% move. So that's a nice short. If you're trading spot or you just want to trade longs, that break happens here and it mostly goes sideways, so you'd still be in that trade. Now, I trade usually both directions, and to set up that alert, right click, alert on the RTI. We're going to enter a channel, 80 on the top, 20 on the bottom. Once per bar close, we'll leave it on all day and then call it what you want. So if it breaks below the 20 and comes back up, the alert will go off. If it breaks above the 80 and comes back down, then that will trigger the alert as well. Any questions on RLC? Okay, let's see what else we can find. So we've looked at a couple AA scores. Here's near and INJ, almost at 80. These are Ocean I've been trading lately, Arweave, XYO. I've got a position on Coinbase as a swing trade, so I'm down a little bit, but not too much. Oh no, I'm in at 12 and 11, so I'm up now, even though it's down 8% today. But let's do some different sorts so you can get familiar with them. There's a lot you can do. You can sort by social activity. With this kind of sort, I'm looking to match up fire and thumbs up. So social activity with trading activity. Those two are in alignment. I want to check them out further. Alpha has thumbs up on both. BNB, Rune, I've been trading a lot lately. EOS. Yeah, I'm mostly focusing on coins I know, or on the exchanges I like to trade and have pretty good volume. Storage has been really good. So go and look at storage. I looked at that yesterday, the day before, and we'll go through this quickly. It's both a day trade and a swing trade. Okay, on the 5-minute, just going sideways mostly. You could do a price alert down here around 80 cents for a indicator alert. Broke above the 50. That's a couple hours ago. We're a little late on that. You can also do a break above the 80. And, here's a good example of that. Right here, it broke above the 80 on this candle and kept going for a little while. I would probably, in this scenario, just look to get a couple percent. It's 3%, 3.3%. That's a good day trade, even if you're not on leverage. If you pile up 2 and 3% wins on your spot accounts, those accounts can grow pretty quickly. Obviously, it's more with leverage, 5x, 10x. Probably shouldn't go above 10x, even if you are experienced, but especially on a volatile coin like storage. So you could set an alert on the 80 if you want to do something quickly. Crossing up 80. If you want to leave this on all day, sometimes it'll play along the line and you can make multiple trades. That's pretty cool. Or if you just want to do it once, leave the only once trigger here, call it what you want, and go from there. You can also wait for a dip. Maybe it'll dip down below the 50 and come back up again. So the same alert, instead of crossing up on the 80, you go 50. And then if you want to catch that dip below the 20, change it from 50 to 20, or do 3 alerts, 20, 50, and 80. Okay, as a swing trade, let's look at this on the swing trading layout. Been bouncing between the 30 and the hour lately. On the 30-minute, we're in the middle, kind of between the buy and the sell zones. And we're still in a sell as far as trading view is concerned, or super trend. The Trendio SMA just turned green. So that could be an entry if you don't want to wait for the super trend and percent or profits up to 8.5%. That's pretty good. And I think this one has room to move. If I go to the day chart, yeah, it's been up to $1.10, as recently as December. If you go to the week chart, it had all-time highs, well over $3. So there is room for this one to move. We even had a high earlier in December of 120 and change. So any of those could be potential exits, depending on how long you want to stay in the trade on a swing trade. And yeah, you could wait and set a super trend alert on either the hour or the 30-minute chart. You know, the buy is the first one that comes up on that alert. If you want to trade both directions, you can go with the direction change. I use that one quite a bit for like on the 15-minute chart. And then if you want to short it, you can go with the sell. So any questions on storage? Is either a day trade or a swing trade? Okay, let's do another sort. So that was social activity. I like long-term sentiment for swing trading. And I've mostly been doing long ones. You can sort the opposite way and go for a short one. But we're going to match long-term sentiment up with the elder impulse. So I've got, you know, the sentiment score, what people are talking about online on Twitter, matched with the technical indicator, the elder impulse. Probably seen Bryce refer to this on his CryptNation calls. So when these match up, that's something I want to set alerts on. Razer X. I traded this back in 2020 a lot. That's an exchange in India. It's their governance token, if I remember right. Okay, Matic is up here. Interesting. $1.13. Down about 3% today, but bullish on both of these. BNB, KNC, I've been trading today. Let's look at KNC. It's a little more volatile than Matic. Okay, quick look at the 5. Top of the Bollinger Band, near the red zone on the 5-minute. Don't like that. You could set price alerts, I'd say in this mid zone. There's some support here around 84 cents, 85. The mid zone here around 84 cents, and then the bottom, the green zone, around 82 cents. Those could be better entries than what we have going now. On the 15-minute chart, RTI is towards the top. It's about to break through the 80. In the past, when it's broken through the 80, it's done some pretty good stuff. That happened here. It made that nice move. And this is what I was talking about earlier. See if it dips below and shoots back up. That's another entry. Dips below, shoots back up. That would have probably gone against you though. But yeah, I think it's riskier than the 50 and the 20, obviously, but you can pick up some scalps doing that kind of thing. Okay. And I'm gonna drop
Okay, I
below
got a
the.
question.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, you were talking about if it's you were over there on these before the thirsty date right here. You were talking about when it drops below the 80 on the RTI.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it pops back up. Are you comparing that to know that it's going to pop back up? Are you comparing that to the volume or the candles up top to in the volume to guide you on that? I mean, because it could just as easily fall off below the 20 if you're, you know, if you're setting to put it in there.
Yeah, like here's an example. I'm cherry picking this a little bit, but it broke above the 80 here. And I don't use the volume. I like to use this cumulative delta. I've talked about this before. That's why I have it down here, this indicator on the bottom. See if you have these nice trend line up on the 15-minute chart. You can go to a lower time frame as well to get a better idea of what the trades actually are. And if that confirms, you know, that's using another indicator for confirmation. If that confirms, then that's something you probably will want to go ahead and take. There's room, you know, to the red zone here. There was a recent high well above it. And I'm only going for about a 1 to 1.5% move on my day trades. And so, you know, I usually measure that out. You know, if it's over 2%, it's a little bit risky. I like to get these around the halfway point or even below if possible. But usually when they break up like this, they're closer to the red zone. If there's room, to get that 1 to 1.5%, then that's usually good enough for me. But the short answer to your question is to use the cumulative delta. That's what I use for confirmation. If you want to look at the volume here or have a volume indicator, there's a bunch of them. Go ahead and add that to your chart. I think it was a year or two ago, and I had about 8 indicators on here, but it was getting too cluttered. It's almost a little kind of cluttered now, but.
On the cumulative delta and the RTI, then are they? Well, I was told like the Bollinger Bands are a little bit behind right now data. Are the cumulative delta and the RTI, are they like right now data, or is their trend kind of behind the curve?
Well, nearly all indicators are using past data to reach their conclusions. They're all mathematical formulas. So there are a few indicators that try to predict the future. The closest I found are divergence indicators. But I used to talk about divergence quite a bit on this Zoom call, but it just didn't work enough for me to keep doing it. But the market's changed and the RTI has been doing really well for me. That's why I focus on it. But there are lots of, you can use RSI, MACD, things like that, but they do lag. Let's go ahead and look at this as a swing trade as well, because I want to look at this other indicator. It's KNC, there it is. This is the Trendio LSMI, and that's supposed to be a faster, a quicker moving indicator. So that caught my attention. That's why I used it, and it's not as cluttery. I think I made up a word. It's Annie's ribbon, but I do like Annie's ribbon as well.
Who does the Annie's ribbon? Because there seems to be, well, I mean, and I know her name's Annie, but I mean, there seemed to be. I looked at one and there was like a couple of them to choose from, and I was like, okay, well, which one are we using here?
Oh, I didn't know there was more than one. But when I added this one, there was just the one, and she's a day trader, swing trader like me. Used to be associated with Crypto Banter, that group with Rand and Sheldon and those guys. So I don't know if she still is, but she seems pretty sharp to me, and she made up her own indicator, so I thought I'd check it out.
Okay. Just trying to match these, the data you're getting. I'm trying to like see if they're helpful to me. I really like the cumulative delta, but it's hard to find it on different exchanges. I mean, on TradingView, you can get them pull up. Well, I guess that you use your data from that. And I was trying to pull it up on Kraken, I guess, and you really need to go back to TradingView to do
okay. So you were putting charts on the exchange.
Yeah, I was just kind of running through them, and it's like,
yeah.
okay, they're really limited, so
Yeah, I want all the tools on TradingView. So I mean, it's a bit cumbersome to look at TradingView and then go to your exchange. Ideally, it would be one place. You can connect your exchange to TradingView. I've never gotten around to it, but yeah, but yeah, you're going to be the exchanges, what they have to offer. They have most of the stuff, but some of the real esoteric stuff they're not going to have. They'll have your basics, but something created by a specific trader, less likely. Okay, where was I? KNC as a swing trade. So we're in the sell zone on the 1 hour chart. Maybe you short this, but it's got 3 straight green candles on the hour. Let's look at it on the 30. Yeah, it's printing a buy signal here. So I don't like buying in the red zone, but I can go to a different time frame, a longer time frame. But we're at the current high, and we're also at or slightly below the high that this one had in November, but we're nowhere near the all-time high. KNC's been well above $5, but that was back in May of 22. So I would probably go. Yeah, I'm not sure I would take this trade. I just don't like the setup that much. I don't know how much resistance figures are going to are going to play into the bull market we're in. I'm reluctant to set them aside. Usually if I see something like this, and it's already in the red zone on the hour chart, I'm going to look for something else. But, you know, bear in mind, this does have a lot of room to move based on its all-time high. Okay, any questions on KNC? We're kind of scattered on that one. Well, I think I'll wrap it up here. Gone through 4 or 5 different scenarios. Is there any specific chart you guys want to look at before we sign off? Okay. Well, Kim, thanks for chiming in. Looks like we had some people joining us. Terry, Andrew, good to have you aboard. Maybe we'll try to visit a little bit before we get started next time. It's Friday, at least in the US. You guys have a good weekend. If you're watching on the recording, check out the opportunities in the pinned comment to help fund the channel. See you next time. Bye.